In this video, we're going to go through one of my favorite sections of eBird, and that is the Explore tab. There is so much to cover in here, from how to track down specific species of birds, to finding amazing birding hotspots, to rare bird alerts. There is a ton in here, and I can't wait to get into it, so let's do it. So if we go to the Explore tab in eBird, first thing we're going to see is this page. And the first two things is we can explore bird species, and we can explore different regions. So first, let's just make it simple and explore a species right off the bat. Let's do something like the great kiskadee. So there's several ways we can search. We can do this 4-letter code. I've mentioned several times in these eBird tutorials, but basically it is the first 2 letters. But basically, for a 2-word bird species, it's going to be the first 2 letters of the first word and then the first 2 letters of the second word. For a bird like the mallard that only has 1 word, it's just going to be M-A-L-L. So let's go ahead and go. We can also just type out the full name. So let's go ahead and do great kiskadee, and then we're going to get to this page right here, which has a lot of information about the bird. We're going to have information on identification, as well as some pictures of the bird, some stats from eBird. It includes your stats as well as eBird as a whole. We're going to see a range map based on actual data where people have been reporting this bird. We can zoom in and see exactly where their range is. The darker the purple, the more common that they have been reported. Also, we can see a weekly bar chart to see how common they are. So let's go ahead and choose a region like Texas. In this case, the great kiskadee doesn't migrate, so it's going to be pretty similar the entire time. But the way to read this bar chart is if you hover over it, it tells you a percentage, and this is how many complete eBird checklists have the great kiskadee on it in a particular region. So in this case, we've got Texas. If we zoom in, though, to an actual Rio Grande Valley region, Hidalgo County, we're going to see that that number jumps up to a lot higher, to 61% here in mid-March. And since this is a smaller area, then we can come down here and see some bird pictures. If you want to toggle it to just your media, you can click that as well. And then also there's going to be some audio you can listen to, and then some top video. So this, as you can see, this can be a really helpful way to identify birds. Also, we're going to have similar species in the family here. It is grouped by family, so the bird that's next in line is going to be here. So like the lesser kiskadee is right here. And then we move on to the cattle tyrant. So that can be really helpful for identifying birds also. So next, let's go ahead and go to the Explore region. So we'll put in any region. Let's just go and start with Texas. And then there's a lot in this page. So to start, you're going to just see some general stats about the region. You can also see your stats here on the right. This button right here is actually very, very helpful. We'll get to that in a minute. But if we scroll down, we're going to see some stats for this month. These community targets are birds that have not been seen in this region for this month. So that can give you a good target to go out and try to find. Some new species for the month are going to show up right here. And then if we scroll down, we'll see some recent photos from the region, some recent checklists, and some recent trip reports. Also, we've got recent audio recordings and some rare bird sightings here, but I will say there is a few limitations in here, so definitely stay tuned until we get to the more robust section of rare bird reports, as this only includes, in this case, it's the different counties of Texas. We're going to see some of the top hotspots based on by how many species have been there and by how many people have been reporting them. This is not by actual people, it's by these numbers are not actually how many people have been there, but rather how many complete checklists have been submitted for that. And then also the top eBirders for this region. There are different ways to get. So over here on the left, you'll see some different things like the bird list. We'll go and open that up and take a look at that. We saw it right here, the recent checklist. You can hit view all recent checklists right here, or you can tap on it right here if you would like. Trip reports are going to be right here. Trip reports are also right here, so much like the checklist, if you want to see more of them, you can go here. eBird doesn't have a great way to see more trip reports. It just, like, this is all the trip reports that it's going to show for Texas. You can't go back for more historical trip reports as far as I know. For the bird list, we can toggle it by all years this year and then this month. The birds that were last observed, first observed, or a high count of species. We can also customize it by time period if we would like to. In this case, Texas is a pretty big region, so it's only going to show the different eBird events. If we want to do it by month, we're going to have to go to a smaller region. Let's go and go to sub-regions, and then let's do Cameron County, just because it's right here. Go ahead and go to bird list, and then custom time. So we can also sort by custom time period. For eBird hotspots, you can sort by month, but for a region, you can only do the different eBird events. So the final thing in this part, before we get to this button right here, which is very helpful, let's go and take a look at the illustrated checklist real quick. So basically, this gives you just one of the best photos and best audio of a bird species found in this region, as well as a bar chart showing you how likely it is for this given region. So that can be a great way to just kind of familiar yourself with the birds found in this region, and also just with how common they are. So one of the last things in this region's area is this hotspots map. So if you click on this, it's going to take you to all of the hotspots for this region. So you can kind of see the outline of Texas right here. If we zoom in, we can start looking at hotspots. And this can be really helpful to just see the local birding areas. Let's go and go to a smaller region. Let's do Cameron County. So go to Cameron County, tap on that hotspots icon, and it takes us to all of the local hotspots. And yeah, this just makes it really easy to zoom into hotspots right away. So speaking of hotspots, let's go ahead and skip to that next. You're going to find it right here on the Explore tab. And then you can find them several different ways. If you happen to know the name of the hotspot, you can put that in there. Or you can put in the place name or address and it's going to be pulled up this way. If I'm going to a place and I don't know the exact name of the eBird hotspot, I'm probably going to put in the location just because eBird isn't going to be able to pull it up if there's something slightly wrong with the names. Like maybe for a state park, like just do Estero, Grande State Park. It's going to pull it up, but if we try to type it into here, Estero, Grande, but if we did State Park and spell it out, it's not going to show up because they just did the SP for State Park right here. So it's going to pull it up and then we can go and open up the view details. This is going to be pretty helpful. If you want to submit a checklist for this location, you just go and hit the submit data and then it's going to pull up the location and have it there so you can quickly submit a checklist. Also, we can see just some basic stats about the hotspot, like how many species have been observed, how many checklists have been logged there, some bar charts, high counts, and Google Maps directions, which is always very helpful. Let's go and take a look at these bar charts and the high counts. Before we move on, I wanted to let you know about a free birder strengths report that I just put together. So how it works is you answer 18 quick questions and then at the end you get personalized recommendations on what you're good at and where to improve, along with personal recommendations as to which of my videos you should watch next to up your skills and become a better birder. You can get to the strengths report with this link right up here, or it is also down in the video description below. I think this will be super helpful for you and I can't wait to see what you think about it. So here on the hotspot page, we're going to see some iconic birds for this hotspot, which this is actually a very new feature, but basically it just shows you what birds this hotspot is known for, or which ones are more common here than the surrounding hotspots. Sometimes you're going to get a rare bird like this black-capped vireo that probably isn't going to be found there, but maybe it was found there a couple times and a lot of people went and saw it. So that's what makes it 5 times more likely than the regional average. But birds like the American avocet are genuinely a lot more common here at Estero than other places in the region. So that can be really helpful when planning a trip. If we scroll down, we're going to see some new birds that were recently seen for this month, some recent photos of birds at the hotspot, and then some habitat and experience photos. Also, we're going to see some recent checklists, so we can click on these and see what birders have been seen recently at these different hotspots. So maybe if you want to track down a specific bird, this should be a good idea to gauge how likely that bird is based on how many people have been reporting it. Also, some recent audio and soundscape recordings, and then the top eBirders for this hotspot. If we want to see more iconic birds, we can go ahead and click on this right here, and then also we can sort by custom time periods. Like let's say if we want to get more specific and we're going in June, we want to see what iconic birds are found here in June. We can go ahead and set that, and it's going to show us that the blue-winged teal is the most iconic bird here. The roseate spoonbill is 5.5 times more likely here than the regional average. Could be a pretty good place to go track it down. Also, we can go to the bird list. I like to use all these different things when I'm researching a different hotspot, especially if I'm on a trip and I want to track down specific birds. I always come to these different areas to kind of get a feel for what birds are being seen at these different hotspots. So we can sort by different months. Like right now I've got it set for June. If we're going here in May, we can see what birds have been reported here in May. It's like black-bellied whistling duck, we've got snowy egret. We can also click on these checklists and get the full checklist if we would like. So there's a lot of stuff in here. I encourage you to just kind of play around and see what all you can find. If we want to see some recent checklists, we can do that. And then also a very handy thing that I figured out not too long ago actually is if you click on this hotspot map, it's going to take you back to the surrounding hotspots. So that can be really helpful if you're trying to find the best hotspots in a given area. You can just click that icon and it's going to take you back. Otherwise, if you hit like the back arrow, it's going to zoom you all the way out and then you have to find that region again just by zooming in or going up here to the location. That just takes way too much time, right? So the next part of the Explore tab is the species maps. If you're looking to track down a specific species, this is where you want to be. So we can put in any bird. Let's go and do eastern bluebird. And then it's going to bring up a range map of the bird. And then if we zoom in, we can see exactly where this bird is being seen. So let's go ahead and click this little thing that says show point sooner. That's just going to make it a little easier to see the birds. Then we can see all of these different points where an eastern bluebird has been seen. If it's red, that means it hasn't been seen there in the last 30 days. And the little fire icon means it's a public hotspot. The blue means that's a personal location. So as you can see, the eastern bluebird is really common. But let's do something that's a little less common. Let's do the mangrove yellow warbler. So if we wanted to track down the mangrove yellow warbler, which I actually did, I went to this hotspot right here and heard it multiple times. Did not get to see it, unfortunately. But this is a great way to just do some research and find where these birds are actually being seen. So if you want to track down a specific bird like the mangrove yellow warbler, probably shouldn't be birding right here. You should be right around this marsh right here. So species maps is very helpful. Next we have the search photos, and this can be really helpful if you just want to see pictures of a specific bird. So let's go ahead and do the American goldfinch. So we can sort the pictures by recently uploaded or best quality, least rated, newest first, oldest first. Let's go and do best quality just to see the best pictures. So if you want to find different bird pictures that way, it can be helpful for identification sometimes too, I feel like. We can sort by least rated. So like if you saw a bird but you're not quite sure what species it is, you can go ahead and do least rated, and then you're going to get some lower quality pictures that can still be really helpful for identifying them, because birds aren't always super close and in perfect lighting like the best pictures are. So it can be really helpful to just kind of go through here and see birds that are not in the best location. It can be a great way to learn birds. And I do this fairly often actually, where I'll go in here and try to find some lower quality bird pictures. And it's a great way to just learn birds. So I really like doing that. Next we have bar charts. So bar charts is a great way to see just how common a bird is for a given area. So let's just go ahead and pick Alabama, and we'll do all of Alabama. We're going to hit continue. Then it's going to bring up a list of all the birds that have been seen in Alabama, and then this green bar chart is going to show us just how common they are. So for the black-bellied whistling duck, we can see that it is more common in the summer, spring, and fall than in the winter. But for the snow goose, it's going to be a lot more common in the winter, and you won't even expect to find it in June because they would have migrated north. So bar charts can give you a great clue as to how common a particular bird species is. We can see like buffleheads. You wouldn't expect to find them in the summer, but in the winter they can actually be fairly common. So I don't use bar charts a whole lot on eBird, but they can be a helpful tool. So next we have target species, then we'll get to alerts here in a little bit. But for target species, you can put in any region in the world. Let's just go ahead and do Texas, and then put in time of year or year round if you'd like. And then birds for my, let's just say, world life list. So these are birds that I've never seen before. And the way that it gets this data is based on birds that you've submitted to eBird's. So if you've never submitted one to eBird, it's going to show up here. So for example, Canada warbler, it is the most likely bird in Texas that I have never seen before. We could also do like for Costa Rica. I'll be going to Costa Rica here in a few months. So let's just go ahead and put in the months that I'm going to be there. We'll be there at the end of May and the beginning of June. And then instead of for my there isn't anything on my Costa Rica life list since I've never been there, so we're going to switch this to my world life list. And so it's going to show me the most likely birds that I've never seen before that are found in Costa Rica. Now, if we switch this to my Costa Rica life list, since I haven't seen any in Costa Rica, it says 0 species right there, it's going to just show all of the birds. So like I've seen a clay-colored thrush before, saw it in Texas, but I haven't seen it in Costa Rica, so that's why it's showing up there. Then also we can click on this map icon right here, and it's going to bring us into the species maps area, but it's already going to populate all the information. So it's just going to bring up a map of all the clay-colored thrushes inside of Costa Rica, and then points as to where they've been seen. So that can be really helpful when researching a species. Next we have alerts. So in here you can sign up for different rare bird alerts or needs alerts. So if you haven't seen a bird in a particular region, you can sign up for that. So let's just go ahead and keep going with Texas. Put that in, and we're going to view the alert. I always like to sort by date, so we get the newest birds, and then we're just going to see all the different birds that eBird has flagged as rare. So some of these birds are going to be a lot rarer than others. You know, like for example, this northern yellow warbler, it's just a little bit early, while this American flamingo isn't supposed to be there at all. You can also get these you can just view these alerts if you'd like, or you can subscribe to them, and then eBird will email you either hourly or daily the different birds that have been flagged as rare for whatever location you put in here. For needs alerts, it's the exact same way, but if you want birds that are only new for the year, you go and tick that box as well. Also, if you want alerts for any rare bird that is ABA code 3 and above in the ABA area, you can go and click on this or subscribe to it right there. It's going to show you all of the birds the ABA considers rare. Down here you can also compare your totals with other eBirders. That's what the top 100 is for. You can do major regions right here, or if we just put in Texas, we can do all time 2026 or any year in the past if we would like. And we can sort by species or complete checklists. Yard totals can be kind of fun because it just collects all the birds that you've seen at your yard, so that can be pretty neat. And then there's also the same with patch totals. If you want to take the eBird Essentials course, you can right there, and then here's a link to Merlin Bird ID. I highly recommend that you check that out. I've got several tutorials on it if you'd like on this channel. And then the photo and sound quiz can be really helpful, especially when studying for different places that you're going to go. So you just start a quiz, put in any location in the world. Let's do Costa Rica since we're going there. Should probably practice. We're going to choose a day, just a day that's pretty close to when we're going to be there, and what birds we want to see. So all possible locations, all possible birds from location, or just likely birds. For now, let's just do likely birds. We're going to start quiz, and it's going to bring a list of 20 different birds that can be found at that location with pictures, and you're going to try and identify them. It's going to give you several different options, and we can click on it. So for this one, it's a yellow-throated toucan. After that, we're just going to rate the image, add any tags. If you get one wrong, it's going to let you know what the correct one is, and if you want to find more information about it, go and click on this little blue icon right there. In some cases, it isn't any of the 4 names here, it's a none of the above, so that can be kind of tricky and keep you on your toes. And then also here in the Explore area, we can see the submission map of all the different eBird checklists that have been submitted today. So hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, go and tap that like button, and make sure that you check out my full eBird tutorial right here, as there is a lot that we have not covered, especially the My eBird section and how to submit bird checklists. So go check it out. I'll see you there.